This is Jeff Valeri coming at you with another episode of Keeping Real Estate Real. Today I want to talk about the rising house prices and how it's affecting people and their choices of where they're going to live. Now, when you look at the media, most of the time the news reports on the negative impacts, how it's horrible that people can't live in downtown Toronto and it's not affordable and that, the common person's getting priced out. However, I'm going to look at the positive impacts of rising house prices. So stay tuned. So this all happened last week. I was talking to my brother, and out of the blue, he brought up the rising house prices in Vancouver and how people just can't afford to live there anymore, and foreign money's pouring in. And, the poor people in Vancouver, they should be allowed to buy affordable houses, and the government should do something to curb prices. Now, me, on the other hand, I took a different approach, okay? I was like, well, that's fine, but what about the people selling their homes? I mean, they're the ones who invested 30 years ago, so they have a right to make a profit. We live in a free market society, and demand always dictates price. Now, what I found funny is my brother lives in New Brunswick, where the house prices aren't really going up that much, but still, he was very concerned about the situation. So fast forward, today I was reading an article in the news from a member of parliament in BC, where he actually talks about the rising house prices in Vancouver. And let me quote as he tells his own story. He says, "I wanted to live in Vancouver, so I explored that option. I didn't even explore the option of buying a detached home, but I looked for condos and soon found out that I was not able to afford to live there." Fast forward in the article, and he says, "There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't go to the papers. I didn't complain to the government. I didn't complain to the opposition. I didn't go to the Human Rights Tribunal. I bought in Abbotsford." So here's somebody who's respecting the law of the market, and instead they've decided to go find a home somewhere where they could afford in a community that's growing, and they're making the best out of it. Where on the other hand, we have people constantly complaining, going to the government and asking them to take away people's rights that own property and to somehow regulate it in order to regulate the prices down so they can live wherever they want, whether they saved up the money or not. What's better is this politician argues too that if people moved to more affordable regions of BC, companies and jobs would follow suit, he argued. And I totally agree with that. Here in the Toronto area, it's exactly the same thing. Prices have gone up a lot, especially in the core in downtown Toronto. But what has happened is, as a result, outlying towns and areas have boomed because of it. Areas like Hamilton, I haven't seen so much development, so much growth in Hamilton in years. We have areas like Kitchener-Waterloo, Barrie. A lot of the surrounding areas are now filling in and growing. Even here in Mississauga, we're building rapid transit, we're diversifying, we're building up now. While yes, house prices are really expensive in the core, it is causing a positive impact in the surrounding areas. So there you have it. I'm Jeff Valeri talking about rising house prices. There is a positive when it comes to growth. You just have to look for it. If you have any questions about real estate, always feel free to call or email me. Keeping real estate real, and I'm out.